Mark Rogers TV, Ohio State, talking Buckeyes football with Brandon Zimmerman from the Buckeye Battle Cry, the best source I can come up with to talk Ohio State football. And he was right there for the classic double overtime win over Michigan that has probably boosted the Buckeyes into the college football playoff. So, Brandon, is the heart rate finally settled down after a few days?
It's been a few days later. I'm still trying to get it kind of leveled out. After that game, there was a lot of highs and a lot of lows, and heart was just kicking my butt all game. So it was a great game. I was glad that I was there. You go from the first half when Ohio State seemed to kind of be sleepwalking through it. The defense was playing outstanding. The offense was kind of struggling to the second half there where, the offense kind of figured out what they needed to do, and that was just let JT Barrett kind of make plays and, work in Curtis Samuel a little bit. It was a fun game. It was a great crowd. I know a lot of people worried about it being a noon game and how the crowd whoop would be for it. But that was the loudest crowd that I've heard in Ohio Stadium. I know I talked to a few people that have been there for a few of the night games this year. They said the Nebraska game this year was actually louder, but I thought it was just great, and especially for it being a noon game.
So that 06 1 versus 2 matchup has turned out to be kind of the modern day gold standard of Ohio State Michigan games, and Ohio State games maybe period, resulting in a championship game appearance. Has this supplanted that? It just doesn't seem any more feasible that anything could be even higher stakes, more drama, 2 versus 3, playoff spot on the line, double overtime, a game that looked to be lost against a great Michigan defense, all the things that happened, the fourth down play, Harbaugh going crazy. There just couldn't really have been anything added to it to make it any better.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I think it might have supplanted it. Like when you factor in, when Ohio State was down 17-7, I know I had a pretty bad feeling in my stomach. Team just didn't seem to be going so much. They weren't moving the ball on offense. You kind of thought that the defense would eventually wear down because they were just out there so much. And, to coming all the way back to Tyler Durbin missing field goals, to the controversy surrounding fourth down. There's so many different elements that came into this game that made it great, even for a non-Buckeye or a non-Wolverine fan to actually enjoy watching this game. I've had numerous, friends that have no affiliation to either one of these teams tell me how great of a game it was and how cool it was that I must have been there for it. So I think it did. And then everything since the game, with Michigan fans signing petitions to try to overrule stuff and, just everything that is surrounding it just, makes it just a great game. I mean, it was awesome. Have fun with your petitions, but, Buckeyes won.
I don't know if you caught the TV numbers, but this was the highest rated ABC regular season game since the 06 game. And it was also the highest rated noon game ever. And it was the highest rated college football game of the season by 50%.
Wow. Yeah. And I saw just a few hours ago that they came out and said it was the highest rated game day too, for the game day show. They said that too. So, I mean, it was a big game. It was one of the only really big games over the weekend. Usually you can count on Bama and Auburn. But that really wasn't as built up this year as it has been in years past. So really you had Ohio State and Michigan as the main type of game, 2 versus 3 with the playoff. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that it broke a bunch of TV records just because a lot of outside sources were going to be watching that game too.
Yeah, game day taking on 5 hours of pregame coverage. I didn't
was
catch
out there.
it.
I was out there for the beginning of it, and then I had to take off at about an hour and a half. So got a little too crowded for me. I was a little too old for that crowd.